Spring cleaning season is here, and if you're conscious about all the decluttering that you're doing and you're not sure if it can be dangerous to your child, today's live is going to make sure that you are being safe while you are starting to spring clean with your children. I'm going to be going over some must-have tips that moms and parents need to know so that you can safely spring clean for while your children are around, and if you have pets, this will also apply to them as well. If you are new to my live, make sure to drop a broomstick so I know that you were here and that you are ready to begin spring cleaning, but in a productive and safe way. So, hello, my name is April Knight Copeland. I'm a motherhood journalist and content creator out of the greater Philadelphia area. I've spent the last 5 years making over 300 videos and over 400 blog posts about how moms like us can level up and make parenting a lot easier while we have small children under the age of 5. Today I'll be going over 3 main points. The first is easy spring cleaning for busy moms, the most overlooked household hazards for your kids, and quick fixes and safety tips that you can apply while you are spring cleaning this season. While we are going over everything in the video, let me know your biggest cleaning challenge at home, and we can chat about it in the comment section below. So we're going to get started with today's topic. And we're starting with spring cleaning hacks. So the first hack that we are going to go over is decluttering. As a mom with a small child, I think we all know that spring cleaning can be challenging when you have small children, when you have a pet, and you feel like you can't even get an ounce of cleaning done because they're always around, running, asking to help. After you clean up that section, they picked up the toy or the item that you just cleaned, and so it can be very, very frustrating. But a thing that I have realized is that unless your child is out of the home, if they're home, you're gonna have to clean in spurts. So cleaning in 15-minute increments is going to be a good way to power clean, but also for you not to get frustrated that you've spent hours cleaning a large area and you're not able to accomplish cleaning. Whenever we have a task, we feel more accomplished when we know that we have accomplished the task. So in order to do that, it's breaking up segments of a room. So maybe if you're starting with the living room, you want to clean all the toys up and then take a break. Clean off the sofa, take a break. If you have a bathroom that's in your living room or right off of it, clean the bathroom. That way you are cleaning up the area, but it's in spurts so that if your child does go back and mess up, it's like you can tell them immediately to go pick up the item, and then that way it's not like you've spent hours cleaning and then get frustrated when your child just goes and throws a toy or your dog comes and like runs all over the place. One of my biggest things is to also make focus tasks. So like toy sorting is a good one. Every season, it's really good to look at your child's toys, see what they're playing with, what they're not playing with, put that to the side, and then that way you know if you need to get new toys. It's definitely something that we're starting to do with our son. He has a lot of toys, and sometimes he's not playing with all the toys. We're really paying attention to toys that he's playing with often. So the toys that he is not playing with, we will gift, and the toys that he's really engaged with, we will keep. And then in summer, we will see if he's still engaging with those same toys or if we need to gift those as well. Another thing that I've started to do is set timers. Setting a timer is really helped me get productive. I have this little timer here that I got from Amazon, and it comes in 1, 3, 5, 10, and 30-minute increments. Can't really see it because of the green screen, but this timer, I'll link it below, after the live so that you can get this timer, and it has really helped me stay on task. I know that if I go over the 30 minutes, that means this task takes longer. So I need to, for the future, make sure I allocate more time, or I need to break it up so that I'm not going over the 30-minute time frame. Sometimes you only have 30 minutes to clean. So setting a timer that you have 30 minutes to clean will also help you speed up the process. Maybe you just have to do a light clean. Maybe you can't thoroughly clean the bathroom. Maybe it's just wiping off the countertops, cleaning the mirror, and maybe hitting the toilet. But then like sweeping and doing a deep clean might have to come another time based on how much time you have left. So those are some easy tips on how to declutter with ease, and also making sure that you're able to get the most done in the limited amount of time that we have as moms. So the next tip is using non-toxic cleaning supplies. So think about products that are, oh no, I frozen. Okay, there we go. Think about cleaning supplies that are all natural. So there's um, 17th generation, there's method, there's branch basics. All of those products are natural products that don't have harmful chemicals. This is really important too if you have pets. I have a corgi, so my dog is really low to the ground, and every time I drop something, he's literally eating it up. Same thing with your kids. If they have small kids like I do, I have a 5-year-old. Sometimes when you put stuff on the table, they're eating from the table, or they're like scooping things off the countertop. So really think about using products that are non-toxic so that if they do ingest something, it's not going to be super harmful for them. I know it can be a little bit more expensive, or it can be very limiting finding these products, but definitely Amazon has them, Target, Walmart, Costco also has these products as well. So this is a really good way to stock up on some really safe cleaning products to have in your home. Also, see if your child will help you clean up. My child is 50-50. It really depends on the day, the week, and the time. He really is at the age now where he will say, "Can I help?" And that's when my husband and I will try to offer that he will come help. But using safe products will also allow your children to help. So if you're using like a DIY vinegar mix, you can have your child spray the vinegar mix on the mirrors, for example, to help them clean. Now we're going to be talking about toy and stuffed animal deep cleaning. So toy and animal stuff deep cleaning is something that most of us don't think about. A lot of times I don't think about it too unless I've seen my child like spill something on their toys, but it's definitely really important that we are cleaning off their toys as often as possible with the safe cleaning products. My dog will sometimes take my son's toys and vice versa. So it's a lot of nasty germs going on between the two of them. And being able to keep all the toys, his toys, my dog's toys clean is really important. So what I like to do is if I see it immediately, I will clean it up. Sometimes you can boil the toys if it's like a hard plastic or if it's made out of a metal, or I will take it to the sink and rinse it off really well. Let it soak in soap and water. That's a really good way to clean off some of the harder toys. And if they have a really stuffed animal like a teddy bear or something like that, you can put it in a washing machine. Individually, I have a sanitized setting, so we will put his items in sanitize as well. Same thing with the dog. Both items need to be cleaned simultaneously, especially if your children are small and you have a small dog. They are sharing toys often. There's like a football that my dog has that my son will throw. I really try to keep that clean too, because between my son's throwing it and touching it and my dog putting all his slobber on it, it gets really gross really quickly. So just think about items that you know your children or your pets are touching often and touching together. Those are items you really want to focus on cleaning. They do have mesh bags or plastic toy bags that you could put in the dishwasher, but usually I will just take hand soap, clean it, and if it's like a stuffed animal, I will put it in a washing machine. To me, that's the easiest of getting all of the toys clean. Now, you don't have to be afraid to tell me, but when was the last time that you deep cleaned your child or your pet's toys? Let me know in the comments. Now we're going to get to some of the dangers of spring cleaning. And this also applies to not only children, but pets. Again, pets, depending on if you have small children and a pet or just a pet, these tips can apply to both. So I'll be using that language interchangeably just so that we are aligned. So the first danger is laundry pods and cleaning supplies. So when you're thinking about laundry pods, they come in this little square. Same thing with the dishwashing pods, and they actually look like candy to your dog and to your child. So you really want to try and store them in an area where your children or dog cannot reach. We have the cabinet locks on all of our cleaning supplies, and I think by the time your child gets walking, so like 18 months, you are putting the child lock on your cabinets. But this is just to reinforce that storing them out of reach for your dog and your children is really important. They will go in there, they will sniff it, they'll lick it, and they don't want to ingest any of that stuff. I will link the cabinet locks that we use in the description below, along with this timer, so that if you are a new parent or your child is just starting to walk or you just got a pet, you can use the same ones that we use. It's super easy to install. It comes with a master magnet that you can just hover right over the area and you can open it. From what I've seen, and my son is 5, he is not able to yank that cabinet open with that lock. So that should just give you more peace of mind that even a 5-year-old, and he's pretty strong, he's not able to open the cabinet once we have those magnet locks on there. Next, we're going to go into batteries and small objects. Now, when you think about batteries, these are things that are commonly used. So like in your remote control or clocks or even little items like this that have batteries in them. They can be life-threatening if they are ingested, especially with your small kid. Between 3 to like 4, even a little younger at 2, once they start figuring out how to use their fingers and that their fingers can be tools to put things in their mouth, your children will stick any and everything in their mouth, from dirt, paint, brushes. You'll be surprised in like 2 seconds. You close your eyes and then you open it back up and your child has put something in their mouth. So batteries are the same thing. They have a very slick casing, so it's easy for them to stick it in their mouth and ingest it. So you definitely want to make sure that you are keeping the batteries out of the reach of your kids. Also, we have batteries in a drawer where it also is locked. So think about items that your children, as they start to grow, they have easy access to. Like my son's able to open the refrigerator, he's able to open doors. So if there are items that you find dangerous, also start locking those items up or put them so far back that your child cannot reach them. That is another way to kind of cut down on them picking up objects and putting it in their mouth, because sometimes you're not always able to look at every single thing that they're doing. You might turn your head because you have to do something and then you turn it back and they've put something in their mouth. So putting it as far away as you possibly can is going to be the best way to help reduce that risk. Also, for like remote controls, putting tape behind items that have small batteries is another way to kind of deter them, because they have to then try to pick the tape off, and at 3, 4, and 5 they're not doing that. That's too much work for them. So items that you can take the backs of will help decrease them swallowing dangerous hazardous items. Now we're going to get into something that we all use, which are air fresheners, diffusers, and candles. Now, with the air fresheners, my son, what he will do is he will unplug it, plug it back in, plug it back in. So we've had to move quite a bit of them. I find that when we've put in the Glade plug-in, after you do that a few times, it starts making like a humming sound. So we've actually now recently had to replace all of the plugins. But that's something too where as your children are growing, they're plugging in, unplugging, plugging stuff in. So now it's okay, now I have to move this to another area where they can't touch it. Even if they're in the bathroom, we buy step stools for them. So as they're going up the step stool to brush their teeth, wash their face, they're touching stuff. So also just thinking of things that you might put up high, like a plug-in where it might be on the wall that they can reach and grab. And then it's like, oh no, I didn't think that they could grab that. So putting the outlet covers is also good. So the plug-in can go in one outlet and then the cover can go in another to not encourage them to plug it in both areas. But it's really becoming mindful of if your child is growing, and I know it happens so quickly because it's happened to us too, but thinking about now that our children can reach, what else can I do so that they are not harming themselves? 5 is still too young for them to realize that they can't keep plugging in and out the plug, like the Glade in plug-in. Same thing with candles and diffusers. Diffusers, you put them in the little glass. Some of them you light. Then they see the smoke. They might spill the oil. The oil is hot. It can stain things. It can burn them. Same thing with the candle, which is the highest level of risk. What I do is after I clean, I used to light a candle in that area to kind of signify that the area was clean. But now that my son is 5, I've had to get a little bit more creative with how I do the candle because he can go and touch it. Okay, so as your child gets older, it's modifying things that you used to signify that areas were clean so that it's more child friendly. So if you used to light a candle and put it on the table, for example, maybe you have to light the candle while you're cleaning, and then once you're finished, blow the candle out and then move the candle to another area so it still has the scent, but your child is not able to touch it. Because even if they're touching the outer part of the glass, it can still burn them, even though the flame might not be lit. Another thing, too, with that hot wax, if it pours on them or pours on something, we all know getting rid of candle wax can be very, very challenging. So just thinking about when you have these items that you used to do when you were single before you had kids. Same thing with pets. You'll be surprised your dog hears something, they run, they bump the table, they bump the chair, and then it's all over the floor, it's all over them. And pets, they freak out even more. So then they're hee, ha, all over the place because the wax done fell on them. So it's just really reconfiguring how I signify that I've cleaned areas. How do I signify that I want to keep this area fresh? What can I do with a plug-in which has the least amount of risk versus a candle which has the most amount of risk, and just finding a medium area to keeping those areas smelling fresh while you were cleaning. Keep in mind that the oils that come in plug-ins are very toxic for children and pets. So if they open the top or they try to drink it, especially from the Glade, it has that soft tip where you put so that it permeates everywhere. The oils are very toxic, so you don't want your children to ingest them. Also, there are other ways of doing scents like the sprays. There are plants. You can also use baking soda and scent those with essential oils. So there's other ways of making an area smell clean and feel very fresh if you don't want to go the air fresheners, diffusers, and candles. Even though to me, those are the best ways to have the longest lasting scent for your clean, like as you're cleaning. Now we're going to be talking about lifting heavy items and how it's a risk for them to tip over. Now, I'm going to share a very personal story. This was about maybe a month ago. So I had a dresser from when I was single. And of course, when you get married, you combine your items. And then, as you live and you have children, you give your children your stuff. So my son has my old dresser. And a few weeks ago, it like literally tipped over. I went to the bathroom and he went into his room and I don't know what he was doing because I went to the bathroom and I heard him screaming. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? And it freaking tipped over. He was not harmed. My dog was not harmed, but it really reinforced that sometimes heavy stuff can tip over. My husband did discover what caused it. We had those little moving little cushions on the bottom, but it wasn't on all four corners. It was just on one of the corners. So it completely freaked me out. And we have gotten a whole new dresser that's much lower and will reduce the risk of falling. But that too is another reminder that as your children get older, they're getting more clothes. Their clothes are heavier. They're touching stuff. And so you want to mount items that are a risk of tipping and falling. Dressers, TVs, bookshelves. We've mounted his TV. We are going to make sure that his dresser is not going to tip over. So we got something much lower and a lot longer. The current dresser that he has is kind of skinny and tall. So it's just a reminder that in a blink of an eye, you can go to the bathroom and then you come back and the dresser is all on the floor. Okay. Child safety anchors are super important for items too, like lamps. Anything that you find that could fall over on your child or your dog on you. I'm a very petite woman. I'm only 5'1". So if something's falling, I'm getting crushed. Okay. So it's just being mindful of things like that you don't even think will tip over, that are going to tip over, especially if you're moving stuff back and forth. Keep in mind that items can tip over and it can be very, very dangerous. And I just thank baby Jesus every day that my dog was not harmed. The dresser is still intact, but we got a new one. Okay. So to recap everything that we've talked about so far with cleaning. So when it comes to spring cleaning, you want to make sure you're decluttering with non-toxic items and you're sanitizing toys regularly. When you're thinking about dangers, laundry pods, batteries, air fresheners, and tip over risks, things that you don't think will fall over on your child, it may just fall over on them. Okay. And last but not least, these are easy things that you can do to reduce the risk. So, getting magnetic locks, taping over your batteries, using safer cleaning products, and getting anchors for your furniture. So, those are some of the ways that you can reduce the risk of feeling like you don't know how to clean properly or that the way that you've been cleaning has not been the best. So now we're going to get into the Q&A section. This is the part where I answer a lot of common questions that you might have when it comes to cleaning and how to clean properly. So the first thing that I like to talk about when it comes to cleaning is this something that you can adapt right away? And the answer is yes. Spring cleaning is really kind of like the refresh or like the real new year. A lot of people use the spring and as like the opening of we're out of winter, it's going to get warmer. Daylight savings time has kicked in starting today. So we feel like we can get rid of all the seasonal depression that comes in the winter and really feel fresh. So definitely take these tips. modify them as needed. Your child may be older, your child may be younger, you might have multiple children, you might be just starting to have children, you might be in postpartum. So just take the tips that I've given and put it in a workable format for you. We have really until May because I don't know about you all, but I love getting ready to kiki and cackle for summer. So you could take these and apply it to summer too, where maybe if there are a couple of tips like the cleaning supplies and anchoring your children's furniture that you remember to do seasonally, because as you get new clothing, as you get new toys, that's definitely something to just be mindful of, like sanitation. Another thing to think about when it comes to cleaning is, what if my child is just around and I'm not able to get anything done? Sometimes when you have small children, they may not be in daycare, they might not go to school yet. So, how are you able to clean if you just don't have the bandwidth? You can outsource. I know outsourcing sometimes might not be a viable option, but having family and friends come over, especially if you're newly postpartum, and saying, hey, can you clean my bathroom? Can you clean the living room? Can you watch the baby while I clean up? There are so many other tools that you can tap into. Getting a babysitter so that you can clean up, that's another avenue that you can use. Sending your children off to a loved one so that you can clean. Again, I know that sometimes these options aren't the best. Another thing is to clean when they are napping or when they are asleep. So maybe you won't be able to vacuum, but maybe after your children go to sleep, you can clean the kitchen, or you can straighten up the living room, or you can wipe things down. Things that don't make noise would be another great opportunity to use so that you are able to clean. What if you live near an area where they only sell certain cleaning products and it's not something that you're able to afford to get the more natural products because they are more expensive? What you can do is boil. Boiling items is another excellent way of sanitizing. They have sanitation machines like steamers. I'll link the one that we use, and you can use that for cleaning the bathroom. You don't have to add any products, you just add water to the steamer. It will heat the water up really, really hot, and you're able to clean that way. So, there's other appliances that you can use where you can buy one time. It might be 50, $100, but you can use that cost to often offset getting cleaning supplies that might be expensive if that's not something that is in your budget. The last most common question that I get is, we cannot always avoid the danger. We cannot always minimize the danger. So, what would be your recommendation for someone who wants to start regularly cleaning, but you have candles, you have the plugins, you have pets, you have small kids? The only other option is to try and get your children, if they're old enough, involved in the process, explaining to them the importance of not using dangerous products. With children, children are very smart in general. If you take the time to explain to them that these are tools and that you can clean and that they have side effects, 9 times out of 10, your children will understand. Now, of course, you still have to set boundaries on how they can use the products and things like that. But I find that when I explain to my son, who's 5, even when he was much younger, explain things to get to him, even if he couldn't say, yes, I understand, you could tell by their actions they understood. And repetition is very, very key. So if you are cleaning on Sundays, your children will see that it's a routine, and they will know that mommy and daddy, grandma, auntie, cousin, they all clean this particular day, this particular time. Now, they might not know days of the week or time, but if they see you doing something consistently, they start to remember, okay, it's that time where mommy is cleaning, so either I have to go get some screen time. Don't be afraid of screen time. Or I'm going to have to help pick up my toys. And again, this is all age appropriate. I'm not expecting a 6-month-old to pick up their toys, but a 5-year-old can. Okay? All right. So, what is one cleaning or safety change that you'll be making this week? Let me know in the chat and comments below if you're watching the replay after this. If you found this live stream helpful, make sure please to give me a like, comment, and subscribe for more parenting tips. Next Sunday, we're going to be talking about mom hacks for managing busy March. As you know, the weather is getting warm, so our schedules is going to start getting booked. So I'm going to be sharing some hacks and tools that I use to be productive throughout the week. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Thank you so much for joining my live today, and I will see you next week.